let's
Yeah, I mean, like, let these people talk to each other.
We got two now. We're bringing in NBK and we're bringing in Crypto Sephardi Jew.
How's it going?
What's happening? Crypto.
Little got the corona already, man.
You do?
Yeah. I don't know if I can see my video or not, but
no, we'd love to see that video, but you gotta maybe hit those three dots and share. Here, I just asked you actually to start it. Now I can do that. Okay, see?
Corona.
Every time. Corona, gotta have it. We got Pacifico here. Because we're Pepsi, not Coke people.
I wanted to mention that this is a great cover for a couple of different things.
Sure.
I just kind of got some word today, and it's all over the news, that there's 4 asteroids coming in. 1 tomorrow, 1 Sunday, and then 2 shortly following after that. The smallest one's like 45 foot in diameter. They expect it to explode in the atmosphere. You can just Google it. It's coming out from NASA. Articles are everywhere. There's a big one that's going to come in April, and it just happens to be on the timeline that we're on. So that's very coincidental, and there's, no coincidences. I know.
Do you think that's why we're being asked to stay inside?
It's a very good possibility, because if people knew and were panicking about these asteroids because no one's talking about it, they're all talking about corona. That's the only thing that's on the news. So, I mean, it can't even get out. Yeah, I mean, I just found that stuff out today, and it just seemed very coincidental that the big one's going to happen right at the end of the timeline for this, quarantine.
Damn, crazy. Well, hey, let's bring in NBK here.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man. Not the voice that I expected, given the picture. But I'll take it.
Yes. So I haven't been in Houston a lot lately, but all this stuff about space sounds right. But you never know. Here in Ohio, things have been a little bit kind of different. So people are still coming out. They're still looking to buy things. There's several industries that are considered essential. So people are still out shopping. It's not really changed anything. The grocery stores are a little sparse, but there's still things you can go buy. There's online access. There's several hospitals you can go and get whatever kind of treatments you think you need just by pulling it up. It's free now. So there's a lot going on. They're limiting testing, like what you were talking about earlier. So that's certainly exactly what's going on.
Right. And when you hear this David Crow show, I think that you're going to love it. I mean, he's so good at laying out his case that this is a crisis based on faulty testing that the CDC administers. It tests just certain factors in your RNA. They might even be random factors, but it's like detecting something and they're saying, you got it, and then that's a cluster. And now they're testing people from there. And if you go in for these treatments, kind of like we've talked about the cancer conspiracy a lot. There's a lot of researchers, doctors that say that cancer, tumors in the body, like they come and go, kind of cancer cells come and go, and your body can heal that shit. And so if you just happen to go in and get a biopsy and test and get test positive at this period of time, now they slide you right into chemo. And what is chemo but radiation exposure? Your fucking hair falls out. You become weak. It costs you thousands of dollars, drains your life force and your bank account. And then you may or may not survive or die. And it's all just, unnecessary to a degree in some situations. It's unfortunate that we just can't trust the people who are in charge of this. It's like car mechanics. Do I just need an oil change, or do I need that filter changed? Do I need that new fluid? Is my transmission really going out? It's just the same thing applied to the human body. It sucks. It's capitalism.
Exactly, and that's certainly something that might happen. You can trade things in. If you make it, you'll certainly be free of all kinds of viruses and anything that you may have picked up.
Mm-hmm. Man, Crypto, how you doing?
I'm doing good. If it is a virus, coronavirus, there are two types that we commonly get pretty often as humans, and so they could be picking up that. So they do widely know that there are two different types of coronaviruses that we get on a regular basis, and it's just like a flu. I've thought from the beginning that this was a big hoax, but I mean, we can't tell. We don't know. We don't have the inside information. We only know what they tell us. And all I know is all around the world, the same script is being played out. So that's just really coincidental. I mean, is most people from the CDC that I have connections with indirectly say that it's going to make it through its way through the population. They're just trying, if it's real, they're just trying to lower the curve for it to not be a spike and overwhelm the hospitals. But I think that there's a number of different things that it could be besides a virus. It could be a cover for bigger things happening. For one, I work in the oil and gas industry doing research, exploration, and oil tanked big time on Monday and the stock market on Thursday. Our economy is completely changing right now. If you wanted to, under the cover of night, transform society, you could easily do it during this cover. And plus, people, if they knew about if there was asteroids coming, and people knew about it, they would be freaking out, and it'd be mass chaos. So, I mean, whatever it is, I tend to not think it's what they're telling us, because they tell us usually half truths at best.
Well, it's definitely not what they're telling you. There may be some truth to it, but I learned a big lesson when I was covering the BP oil spill. I went down there and I spoke with the Department of Defense, and they said that it was all getting cleaned up and to print that story. There's plenty of oil at the bottom of the sea, and you know how that all went.
Yeah. I hear you. They are constantly lying. We just don't know.
Some of the things they were doing in developing Cynthia biological, blank cells, and you put that out there, and you see what comes up, like oil-eating microbes. And so there's definitely all kinds of experiments going on and everything, and you can do all kinds of things with society as well. You can clear people from the coastlines. You can do all kinds of stuff under the cover. What they would do is, just an analogy, is if you label, let's say, corrects it, and you own it, you can put whatever you want in it and get it out to where it needs to be if you control the situation. So that's exactly what's going to be happening here. Things are going to be mislabeled because people are in charge of what it's called.
Also, yes, and David Crow, the guy I interviewed this morning, he brought up the fact that, how convenient these old malaria and what was the other condition?
Swine flu?
No, there's malaria, the drugs that they're using, the drugs that they're having some success with. One's a malaria drug, and one is another thing like malaria that we don't deal with really much anymore. Not that we don't deal with malaria. Ebola, that's what it was. There was one's an Ebola drug from the time that we had that outbreak, and then they mass-produced all this shit, and they've got a stockpile of a few certain things. So then it's like, let's clear out the warehouse and say, we're having some success with these treatments. Meanwhile, it's just a flu and it goes away. But in that 10 days it takes to go away, we're going to pump you full of all this shit that we've just been sitting on that we can't make money from, and we'll get a couple $100 billion in the bank when this is all said and done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Also, clear out some of those baby boomers that won't die.
Well, people had advanced knowledge of the stock market crash. I know some very rich, wealthy families in the oil business, and they all sold out and are sitting real pretty right now. And they're going to actually buy back stock here on pennies on the dollar. So, I mean, there's just too many coincidences.
It's true. I mean, we've just been cultivating our discernment for a long time. And I hope that we get it right. I mean, we're going to just, I guess, try not to come to any serious conclusions, but be aware of all the threads, keep an open mind, and just stay safe. Keep the system at arm's length. Ross Ben said we want to fly under the radar right now, and I thought that was really spot on. We do. I just want to fly under the radar, but I have been concerned when they send us all home, and now we're communicating through digital means almost exclusively. This is how you get deplatformed and you really get shut down. Because now you can't go out and talk to people. I always thought, who cares if I get kicked off of Twitter or Facebook? I don't really give a shit because all I do is post shows there and I really engage with people out in the world. But if that's shut down and people are afraid to come over, afraid to have me over, it's a scary place. Then you deplatform someone like this because they said Pizzagate one too many times, and then, it's over. So I do have those kind of concerns.
Yeah, I've heard some rumors that this could be a cover for mass arrests and, all the 150,000 indictments with, all that, hope porn, I call that. There's fear porn, there's hope porn.
That stuff.
A lot of that stuff too. I just tend to think it's bringing in, there's too many coincidences with these asteroids, man. They just found 4 of them that are going to come this weekend. I mean, how coincidental is that this is when it's getting the worst? And then the big one is going to be right at the end of the quarantine timing. They're saying, it could last a couple of months and into April. So I think it was supposed to be around April 4th this coming. I mean, I would just, ask everyone to look it up. It's not on the news. Japan just took a spacecraft and shot a cannon into an asteroid to see what it would do. And they just got that done. How coincidental is that too? I mean, I don't know. If everyone knew that these asteroids were coming, they'd be freaking out. And can you imagine how bad it is already now if they knew that, there was a possibility of a complete annihilation?
Yeah. What's funny is I'm in Ohio and I see all the people around me coming from Texas. I know that, there's guns and there's guns everywhere and we all kind of know what to do with them. But I see my friends that asking about guns, and it's
about that. Should you be dealing with that now, or you should?
I tried to add another person, but I guess that we just heard somebody in the background. Sorry, I thought we had so many hands and I throw in a 4th person, but all we hear is
let's do it.
Somebody in the background being like,
I've been prepping since 2011. I bought the N95 mask back then. Didn't know why, because when you're a prepper, you prep for everything. So I have a little bit of foresight. Bought the silver, bought the gold, bought the guns, bought the N95 mask back then, bought the iodine. And if it is a coronavirus, then I think nano silver and, like everyone's saying, vitamin C, juicing, stuff like that. But I have not worried about the virus. It doesn't seem to be real. The script is out. It's another 9/11 event. They're not. The narration is too perfect for it to be anything but a false flag. I mean, it's
just such a gross overstep that clearly there's orchestration. We know that several senators had insider trading after a meeting they had several weeks ago. So obviously there was coordination. Obviously, Jeff Bezos sold out a bunch of his stuff. My buddy, who's just a 100 millionaire family in the oil business, he knew about it. And he's just they're on the lower level end of this stuff, just 100 millionaire. They're not even the big boys, and they knew. Wow.
He comes from a multi-generational oil family, and they're only worth a few $100 million. So they're on the small end, and they knew to get out. Looks like oil is going to be actually so cheap that you're going to have to pay people to buy it. So what could be coming in? that would bring that in? I mean, where you are paying someone to buy a commodity off of you? That's how cheap they think it's going to get.
Maybe
and cars too.
technology. Let's see if
New technology.
Yeah.
Could be new
Yes.
technology.
Yes, you'll see cars. The current crop of cars come through, and then as things change even greater, these directions are coming from the top, and you'll see things come just like a song.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have to just be aware and every day keep an eye on what's going on, and hopefully we're all prepared. I am going to get to another couple names. I can throw them in or I can let you guys go. What do you think? Want to stick around?
Man, you're the boss.
You want to stick around?
Yeah, sure.
All right. I tried to add this Dave guy here, but no go.
Yeah.
I did. I unmuted him and I sent the request to start video. But anyway, let's see. Austin Lacey. What's happening, Austin? Where are you at? How you doing? Whoops. That might have been me.
Man, I wish I could be where y'all live because weed is so illegal here in Texas.
Yes.
Man, it's BS, man.
They did say that dispensaries are a essential business, so they get to stay.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Smartest stoner I know, by the way. You always downplay your intelligence, but you are a really smart guy, man. You really are.
Too kind.
No. You're very eloquent in your speech, and always have the right lead into the right direction. So hopefully, I don't throw you off too much.
Oh, it's all good. I mean, I try. It takes effort. You know, it's not necessarily in my nature to be detail oriented, but we're dealing with a lot of high level guests and important information. You want to make sure that it's laid out correctly, and you know, I try my best. I only got to keep it together for 2 hours a day. Those 2 hours.
You have very good vocabulary.
Thanks. Been talking for a long time. A
Yeah.
lot of practice.
I remember when you first got started, man. I remember. I was listening to you back then.
Really?
Yeah, long time ago. It was like 2010 or 11, something like that.
Yeah, that was the beginning.
Yeah, I was one of your first guys, probably.
Wow. Appreciate it. Thanks for sticking around. Austin, how you doing out there?
Good. How are you?
Great. What's up with you? How's your neighborhood right now? Are you allowed outside?
Yeah, I think kind of. I don't know. I don't keep too much up with their laws and stuff, I guess, but
Okay.
pretty barren outside.
Truth. What's been on your mind? Anything besides this coronavirus crackdown situation, or is this dominating pretty much all your thoughts as well?
Yeah, kind of dominating my thoughts because like everything seems to come back to it right now. Works like hell because of it, and you know, everyone seems to be losing their jobs or something.
You know, a lot of people that are worried right now.
Yeah.
I do. We live in one of the most expensive cities in the country. People are living pretty tight to be able to make it work. And we always talk about, yeah, it's expensive to live here, but we like going out and doing free stuff even. There's a lot of hikes you can go on, the beach, of course. There's a decent amount of ways to have fun for free here. But when we're not really supposed to be out, it's starting to feel like not so worth it, you know?
Yeah, no kidding.
There was supposedly all these spring breakers down in Port Aransas, and I'm in Corpus Christi, and supposedly there's huge crowds out there where you can watch my little video, like 2-second video, there's no one out there, man, and they're making it out to be like all these people are out there spreading. There's not even one case of coronavirus here where I'm living in the city.
Well, big questions. How many people have died from coronavirus that did not receive aggressive treatment in the hospital? What's that number? Because if we got 170 recorded, how many people died from it that didn't get tested for it and then get put in the hospital?
Right.
I'd be curious to know that answer. Of those 170, are any of them untreated? Did this kill anyone? Did this virus kill anyone? We really don't know. We know that people tested positive for it, got pumped with chemicals, and then died. We know that. Got put in isolation. I don't know.
This would be a perfect excuse
That's
to
interesting.
away the dissidents. You know, if I was a totalitarian government and there was people that were free-thinking people, no one's going to question you being dragged out of your house to a quarantine zone, otherwise known as a concentration camp, otherwise known as a death camp, re-education camp.
The gulag.
Well, that is a concern. What if you have to have on your driver's license a stamp that says, I got the vaccine, I'm allowed to be out? When you show your ID at a bar, does it have to have that stamp on it for you to be allowed to go in?
Absolutely.
These are just the things.
There we go.
Show your papers.
Yeah. And we just need to be really careful what we accept and why we accept it. I don't want to be like anti-science. I think the guy that we're going to hear on THC soon talk about this is very logical and pro-science. He's using the words of the CDC to make his arguments. He's using SARS as a case study, which was another coronavirus. I think it's logical stuff. So I don't want to be like a Christian Scientist kind of person, like the Western medical system. I'd rather just slowly shrivel away if I were to get like pneumonia or something. Obviously, there are some treatment, but this is an op, it seems like. And so within that, you don't know if it's just an opportunity being used for a plan that's been, sitting in the bottom desk drawer for a while. They've just been waiting for one to pop so that they could then roll it out. Because according to David, and we all know, there's a quarantine protocol in every hospital in this country. All you have to do is activate it by saying, it's like a pandemic situation. They have a protocol for that. So you say, okay, we've gone to the level of pandemic. Everybody get out your brochure, from nursing school, and this is what we do. And once you put all those pieces in place the way you want them to be, you just flip that switch, and we don't know what kind of threat this thing is really or not. But I do stand by Nick Bryant that the economic situation is probably going to end more people financially or in other ways. He thinks suicides are going to be higher than the number of people who die of coronavirus. That's interesting, but we shall see. But
yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. Jump in.
I'm a landman. I do research, very detail-oriented research that goes back to the patent, which is sovereignty of Texas. And I'm a descendant of the original colonists of Texas. My family's been here for 400 years. This killed our jobs, completely ruined all landmen. Oil is going to be completely worthless. So many commodities and technologies, I believe, are going to be thrown out the window for at least the next few months. And maybe nothing's going to replace them. Maybe something is. But if you were going to bring in a whole new society, a whole new way of life, this would be a good way to acclimate people. And I'm not saying the coronavirus isn't real. I have 4,000 parts per million silver in my cabinet. I've been taking it daily and giving it to my kids as a precaution. We juice, we take the vitamins. You gotta prep for everything. We don't really know what it is or what's going on, so we just have to think freely and be open-minded and question everything. Take in all the information you can.
Truth. no one ever said, damn, I wish I didn't build up a robust immune system, when I didn't need to. It's always a good thing. So no issue there, of course. Whether there's a virus or not, it is a good thing to do.
Well, nano silver is a very good alternative treatment for it. They use it for MRSA in hospitals now, so it's no longer a conspiracy thing to use this nano silver, not colloidal silver, nano silver, it's smaller particles. So if there is a virus, you'd want to be taking that stuff. I mean, so I would recommend everyone stock up on the highest level of parts per million silver that you can get, just in case. Just go ahead and start taking it as a supplement.
Doesn't hurt. Does not hurt. Well, hey, I think the maximum amount of people I can have with a lot of hands up. So anyone else have any thoughts? Anyone want to clear a space? How are we feeling?
Y'all can let me go. I've said plenty.
All right, man. Well, hey, great info. Stay safe out there. Thanks for listening. Thanks for calling in. Good hang.
I enjoyed it. Thank you.
All right.
I'm kind of wondering how much credence